What's going on, guys? As you can see, I'm sitting here in the garage. Got an interesting bit of a little project we have to deal. So a little bit of a news came up. I wasn't expecting it, but supposedly we're going to start the fab work this weekend, which kind of said, oh crap, well I have to address some things before I even consider bringing the car to the fabricator. So I went to the metal surplus yesterday. I picked up some new 3/8 bar, and this is actually what we used to mount the bumper. Well, this whole section got bent when I hit the wall at the track, so we're gonna have to make a new bumper support going across, and then that bar, the bigger bar, will be for the bar that goes from frame rail to frame rail, because that needs to be installed before we start the turbo kit. And I also need to have the radiator positioned in the car before we start the turbo kit. That way we know where we can and cannot put the turbo. Because as you see here, between where this pole is, you can see the tube there, we got to make sure the radiator fits between that and the bumper. So the bumper is definitely going to have to get trimmed farther out in the nose area. So now you see why I got this all situated. When I got this radiator, this is meant for Hondas and whatnot, but the sizing wise, it worked to fit my car. So I said, all right, I'll order it. Came with these two 8-inch fans. Well, after reviewing the technical data, the pair of these fans only pull around, I think, 750 or 800 CFM of air, which isn't much at all. So I had these from the old setup. One of these fans pulls around 1850 CFM. And I already had them sitting around, so what I just did last night is I cut off all these pieces. And now you see we have a fresh back to start with, and the plan is to put this guy right there. So I actually have a long time relationship with a laser cutting company in Orlando, Kissimmee area. And they've done a lot of work for me for this car. I've learned over the years that it's honestly just better to have stuff laser cut. The cost kind of seems steep at first, but when you think about buying a big thing of fresh metal, you know, using the proper tools to cut it and whatnot, versus having them laser cut it and it'd be perfect, the cost offsets itself. So, I mean, I've had things cut from my car, like my old, well here, I have it on my wall. This is my old ITB plenum I had. But all of these pieces were cut, designed in CAD. They were all cut, we just had them welded together. I actually had my parachute mount laser cut by them. A couple other tidbits. And like I said, it's just for the stuff that I have them laser cut, it's better for me to have them do it, because by the time it's done, it's perfect. All we have to do is put it on what we need and weld it up and we're good to go. So, but that's the plan. I'm gonna head down there now. I don't know how they're gonna be with the camera. I'm gonna see if I can video there and show you guys their place. But that's the move right now. Alrighty, so I think the last clip that I filmed was bringing the radiator and fan to the laser cutting guy. So I thought we were gonna be able to get it cut the same day. However, it's gonna be about a week wait, unfortunately. So fortunately I have a second fan and I have the radiator with me, so worst comes to worst, we can still kind of mock up where everything needs to go. So yeah, I'm actually in a really bad mood today, because I guess somehow or another I bent a whole shit ton of fans on my radiator. So needless to say, I'm not very happy about that. So with the car being as is, obviously it's not drivable, but we need to take it to the fabricators. And the alignment is off because I changed the control arms, and it doesn't run, obviously. I got the trailer down there, and what I've been working on today is putting in the winch. That way I can just pull it back and I don't have to worry about it. It was gonna have to happen anyway, because from now on I'm gonna start loading in the car from the back. You know, pull it back. And it makes more sense winching it in. So that's what's happening with that. And yeah, so my plan right now is waiting on Jeff to get here, so we have a second car to go to the parts store to get some bolts for that. And then this, the goal is to get it on the ground pretty much ready to roll. And then I'm probably gonna load it in the trailer tomorrow, because because I believe we are going to the fabricator Saturday morning. So that's the plan. Hopefully it goes through. So I am excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow I finally have an eye doctor appointment to get a like a checkup or exam for my paintball mask. I think I mentioned in my paintball video, the glasses keep fogging up, and I found this company that makes these cool like insert adapters for the mask, but I have to get a current prescription. So I'm doing that tomorrow. I think we're gonna go play paintball tomorrow night, and then like I said, Saturday morning the plan is to go to the fabricators. So don't necessarily know what's going to be filmed today. This is going to be kind of all over the place, but yep, I got to get this thing ready. I think I got what's it say here? 48 days until TX2K. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, so I didn't really film any of the process, but however, the winch is installed and bolted through the floor with a blacking plate. It is not going anywhere. I installed a D-ring, and that way this will shoot straight out whenever I go to pull the car in. I don't have the battery mounted yet because I don't know where I want to put it. So for now, I'm just going to hook a pair of jumper cables to these connections, and then I can use the winch. Alrighty, so I'm back in the garage. Trailer I kind of put away for the night. I tested the winch out, everything works great, so that is good there. So now I'm in the process of gathering all the materials together that we're gonna need to start the fabrication process. So as you see this big pile here, I've been planning on doing the new turbo setup since about August of last year. It was a necessity in the regards of I really want the radiator back on the front, and with the higher horsepower, higher boost levels, my air-to-air intercooler was not big enough. I noticed at about 20 or 21 pounds of boost, my IATs would start skyrocketing, which tells me there is a restriction in the intercooler because there's too much airflow. That's why I went with the water to air route. That thing is rated for 15 or 1600 horsepower versus my air to air, I figure probably rated right around 1000 horsepower, which is about the power I was making at the engine. So as you see, we got a big pile of stuff. So both of these guys right here, these are what come off the header. This is 4-inch, this is 2.5. This is ultimately what the exhaust will be made out of. This little tube right here, that is for the bumper support that got bent during my accident. And these miscellaneous DOM tube are for like the turbo mount and the front crossbar. As you can see, I have a mixture of 3-inch to 3.5-inch aluminum for the charge piping. I have some pie cuts already, just so we have. And all here, those 90 degrees are stainless. So this is basically everything we're going to need to fabricate the turbo kit. I got a bunch of fittings of my blow-off valves in there as well. It's just a matter of putting all of this in that. So before I bring the car, I'm just going to clean up. Obviously, I have a lot of mess to clean up, but I'm just going to put the other header on. Trying to be as preventative or proactive as I can before I bring him the car. That way, by the time I get there, it's rock and rolling. The timeline of things, what we're looking at, he's saying that he wants to start early Saturday morning and basically knock out as much as we can Saturday and then see what the agenda is moving forward from there. So at the very least, I'm just praying that the front end, the new front end mount is done. And what I mean by that is this bar right here. This is what bolts the bumper on. We have it in a configuration to where I can actually remove it, which is badass. So I want the front end mounted and then hopefully the turbo set in place. And then possibly configure the radiator setup. That's my personal goal. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, but I'm actually putting a stock hood back on the car. And in my top drawer of my toolbox, let's see here, what do we got up here? Ah, this is what I'm looking for. So these will be the new hood pins right here. All quick latch. There'll be 2 big ones and there will be these 2 small ones. So I will have 4 hood pins total. And I am pretty sure I'm going to be using the factory hinges. So the setup I had on the past, you can see here, I still do use the factory hood pin or hood hinge, but I have these here, and these were quick latches. So if I ever wanted to pull the hood off, the hood can come completely off. if you use the front hood pins, you could still use the hinge back and forth. But if you take the ones on the back off, the whole hood came off. I did have the hood on and off a lot. So I'm not sure. I might still just put quick latches on the factory hood. That way I can take it all off. That would be, you know, having 6 total, but I don't really necessarily care. But I definitely want the hood to be very secure on the car. So my intentions are to have 2 in the front up here and here, and then maybe some sort of pins coming off the engine or putting them up in the corner by the headlights. I'm not sure. As you know, guys know, most of my car isn't very like super strong anymore. So I don't want to have the hood pinned to something that's not going to hold it down. But I definitely want the extra hood pins just in case, just to have that extra peace of mind. So this old girl is retired forever. You know, I missed her. I'm gonna love her. A lot of stories to be told with this hood. You know, this hood was on my car back in the Stancy days. So I'll put in a couple photos now. So basically this was when the car was slammed back in the day, before I had a shaved bay. Now moving into times I had the shaved bay, I had the ITBs. You can see the ITBs straight through it. So it looked sick. And then the car went down for a few years to build the built motor turbo 1.6 setup. So it was ITB turbo at the time. So back then I had my wastegate dump was right here. And that's why that notch is there. And then this was actually cut to fit the bolt on the compressor housing of the turbo. And that was it. There was no other holes. So, like I said about the ITB turbo setup, we had this big plenum right here. Well, this plenum, as you see, split open. It actually broke all the welds straight through. I was running about 30 to 35 pounds of boost. Well, the unfortunate part is when that thing slammed open, it destroyed the whole hood right here. You can see it's all spider cracked all the way down. I mean, it got pretty tore up. And I left it like that. And then years later, I went and I did the hood exit exhaust and the wastegate were in here with the 1.6 turbo setup. And then I left the hood alone. And then now with the LS, I had this big hole made for the old intake and intercooler pipe system. So that hood has a lot of history to me. I loved it. It's just, it's got to go at this point. And unfortunately, with the way I need to have my hood cut now to fit this monstrosity of an intake, no matter what carbon hood I buy, it's not gonna have that rigidity to it. So the plan right now is to put an aluminum hood on the car, an OEM one. I have one. And then maybe in the future, see about getting a carbon hood made or just buy an OEM style carbon hood. I don't know. I want the carbon on the car. I love how the carbon looks. I can't imagine the whole car being green. It's gonna be kind of weird. I might just have Randy paint the hood black. I'm not sure. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But this is the plan now. Getting everything situated to be loaded up in preparation for Saturday. So this is just kind of a more or less an update video. A lot of stuff going on. I mean, I apologize for not capturing all of it, but plans are moving forward. Tomorrow, me and Jeff going paintballing. Before we go paintballing, we're loading up the car in the trailer and everything ready to go. That way Saturday morning, I just head on the road. And then Saturday, we will start the fabrication process. So I'm excited. I really want this car back in on the road. I'm really hoping to bring like an 850 car to TX2K. We shall see how far we can take this stock internal motor. I think we'll go deep into the 8s, but we'll see. Anyway, catch you guys later. We got some work to do. Stay tuned. Thanks.